I'm Alabama fan and proud of it. Gump Nation forever, brother.
Namath again faking, quickly finds his target.
Now cuts in. He's at the 40-yard line. He's at the 30.
Quick drop throws in the end zone.
Each number represents an expectation, a challenge that only a championship tradition can issue.
Pressure. Anders hits him. The ball is loose.
Alabama, here comes the heat. Cornelius Bennett. Whoa, did he get lit up?
It is an endless passing of the torch that urges the wearer to enrich his legacy.
Brings pressure up the middle in a hurry. They can't get away from Duncan. Alexander first down and more.
Richardson breaks free on the sideline. Turns the corner. Can you say goodbye?
Because at Alabama, tradition is not retired. It is built.
How would Paul Bryant like you to remember?
I'd like the people to remember me as being a winner, because I ain't never been nothing but a winner.
Alabama defeats Miami. College has succeeded.
This is not the end. This is the beginning.
Roll Tide family, Roll Tide everybody. Glad to see everybody up in the house here tonight. Thank y'all so much. Stephen Hicks, William Bryant, MFR Jones, Jeff Stapleton, Eddie, man, good to see you. Latoya, good to see you. William Bryant, you was in here earlier. Stephen Hicks, oh, Lord have mercy. It's great to feel the family. It's great to have everybody up in here. But just in case y'all forgot what, hey, there he is. There's my man, Dirt Road Bigfoot. In case y'all forgot what tonight's about, reason I brought back BAMA Smoke is because all the smoke and mirrors that we as fans have been listening to from the off season all the way up through. So our Wednesday night show is going to be about, let's get away from the smoke and mirrors. Let's move them to the side. Let's talk about what we actually saw with our own two eyes. That's what we're talking. I ain't bringing up no stats. I ain't bringing up none of that because that's somebody else bringing that up. The only thing we're going to talk about tonight is what we see or what I saw with my own two eyes. Oh, surprise, surprise, surprise. And some of y'all might remember that. Let me bring on another brand new horseman, a new member. Let me bring on the man himself. Nacho, come on down, sir.
I am Iron Man. Roll Tide, yeah! Hey, no rap, boys. Roll Tide, roll! He can't handle all this smoke, baby!
I love it, bro. God, I love it. Go ahead, my man. I love it.
Hey, Roll Tide, roll! It's good to see y'all here tonight.
Roll Tide, man. It's an honor. Seriously, it's a major honor to have you grace your appearance and be even seen anywhere near me within at least 2,000 miles. So that's awesome. I appreciate you, brother. You have no clue. One of the things I would like I said, we talk about tonight is improvements. So what first thing I want to do, I want you to tell your story because you actually was at the game. You was actually there. You got to feel all the power. You got to feel the fans. You got to feel all the energy. I would like for you to come on and talk about that if you would. So right now the stage is yours, sir.
Absolutely. Well, I'm telling you, we all know what happened the week before, and it was such a relief to see a fired up football team and getting to see some of these guys that we've been hearing about and the quarterbacks and the running backs, and I got to meet a whole bunch of them at media day. I guess it was about a month or so ago. I got to meet the whole team and just hang out with them, and it's such a great group of guys. And some of these guys, you hear about on some of the podcasts, but you hardly ever see them out there on the field. I'm telling you, everybody got to see the field on Saturday. They were trying to get me to come out there and run some plays. But it was nice, and it was good to see them succeed. Usually when you bring in your second, third, and fourth stringers in there, you're not moving the ball. Well, that was definitely not the problem on Saturday. And, La Monroe, you can call them what you will, but hanging 73 on anybody and keeping them out of the end zone and keeping them out from between the goalposts, that's an accomplishment. I don't care who you are.
That is facts, bro. That is facts. How was the fan bases you was around? How was the energy up there?
It was awesome. It was really awesome. I was really surprised at how full the stadium was. Before the game, the tickets were going for pretty cheap, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be a thin crowd. But being that it was the first game of the season and a night game, and everybody's got to come out and sing Dixieland Delight in the fourth quarter. And that was what it was about. Absolute stomping on the field didn't hurt either,
Well, speaking of that, how was the light show? How was the lights that night? How did the stadium do with the lights?
And it's always awesome. Ever since they started, it's fantastic. Such a rush, and the crowd gets all excited, and it gets dark, and then the lights start flashing red, and what's fixing to start happening. It is so much fun. It is really hard to beat a night game at Bryant-Denny Stadium. It fills me up like nobody's business. I've been waiting on this for dang near a year, man, and it feels so great to be back and where I'm supposed to be.
Outstanding. Have you got any new signatures on your hammer?
I didn't get any this past weekend. It just nothing really presented itself. I actually got to take a picture with the Chrisleys.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was walking around my wife and my stepmother. Watched all the shows and all that, and I was just walking back to my tailgate that I went to, and I looked over and I was like, oh my gosh! And I was like, if I don't get a picture with y'all, my wife's gonna murder me. They got.
That is awesome, man. I envy you, brother. I envy you, my man. I'm serious. I envy you.
I got enough. He wasn't worthy to put on the hammer, but I'm sure everybody remembers the student that was in the stands at the FSU game, and whenever they panned to him, he flipped off the camera.
Right.
Quick, but it was like right out there in front of everybody. All right, so. All the time I'm on the quad, people. I bet I had 25 people. You got to find that kid that flipped off the camera. And I was like, man, that's like finding a needle in a pile of needles. How in the world am I going to find this kid? All right, so it's like the third quarter, and I'm behind the student section. I walk around the whole stadium, the whole game, and taking pictures, and of course I'm watching the game too. But on a blowout like that, I don't get to watch quite as much because, it's not as stressful. But anyway, I'm walking around, and then all of a sudden this guy's like, hey, can I get a picture with you? Yeah. And it was a guy, and he was like, his buddy was taking a picture of me and him. And he's like, hey, you got to flip off the camera. And I'm like, what? And I look over at him, and he's like, yeah, I'm the guy from Florida State. And I was like, no. And so I looked at him close, and I was like, you are the dude. He said, yeah, I'm the guy. So
that's awesome.
I got him to flip off me on the picture. and the way I look at it, this is how you reverse whatever the heck that was. That we flipped the script, and the tide rolls from here on, man. I had a little video where I did Tim Carrey. He goes, he's I have exorcised the demons.
That is awesome. Oh, right quick. Eddie, Eddie Blackburn, just let you know, CTS, where we all started years ago, and now we own that channel. So that's why you're seeing CTS and BAMA Sports as two different entities. So if you're having a problem over there at CTS, please let me know. You can email me at bamdownsports@gmail.com so I can look into what problem you're having. But right now, go ahead and look up on YouTube, BAMA Sports. We're the same. We're one and the same, but you can change that over if you want to. Eddie, I know you're interested in what we got to say. You're a South Carolina fan. We love you being up in here. We love you people being up in here. But I'm just letting you know we are CTS now. We own them. They got over 2,000 subscribers, which we helped build. We just have our little modest 200. It's what we do. We love talking to our fans. That's what we do, the true fans. That's how it is. But now let's get to the topic at hand. Improvement. Let's talk improvement. My number one I want to start with before I go to you there, Nacho, is offensive line. I saw a major improvement on the offensive line, but I got a little check on this one. The reason why was the offensive play calling was run first. They didn't let these big hogs that we got up front have to worry about their technique and foot placement and all that when you're firing off the ball and pushing the guy in front of you down the field for a running play. And you do it time after time, so now they're back on their heels. Now you do a play action pass on them. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. What do you think? What did you see?
I agree completely with you. Yeah, I mean, if that offensive line is doing its job, then the running game comes into play. And like you said, man, when they get back on their heels and if they can't stop the run and they're stacking and stacking trying to stop it, well, then they're not covering somebody on the outside. And that's why we were able to move the ball like we were. Yeah, I think big time improvements on the offensive line. That's why Ty was able to go for 17-17 and just sit back and pick his plays. I think hopefully that's what we do. That was my thing about the first play in the first drive in the Florida game. Man, they moved the run. It was awesome. 8 minutes off of that clock in that first drive. That is exactly what I wanted to see. And then, of course, I don't know what happened after that. But, I really do think, this is my opinion, I think if we played that game first, we played the game we played on Saturday first, and then we had Florida, I think we have a different outcome in that game. I really do. I really do. Everything was out of whack and screwed up with that Florida game. I really do. I think if we get a cupcake first, I think we come out and we play ball and we win that game. But, go back in time, that's for sure.
You bring up a good point there. I know this little off script, y'all, but I love playing off of my host. And I've got the number one host, Nacho right here. Nacho Alabama. I got the number one. So y'all know I got to play off of him because I have no kind of talent like this man does. So I have to play off of him. But with that being said, would you rather see Alabama moving forward having the same type of schedule, let's say like a Georgia, where they open up with 2 cupcake games before they go into the SEC schedule? Or would you rather start off with, because this is Nick Saban's fault, our mighty Nick Saban, he wanted that marquee game right off the get-go. He wanted to know what kind of team he had that year. He needed to know where to work. What do you say?
I mean, it's not like you can just pick and choose, but honestly, I think if you're bringing in a new quarterback that's never really controlled, never been the man, basically.
Right.
Yes, I would love to have a couple of cupcakes to get him a taste before you throw him into a environment like Florida. But, you don't have those choices. And, Coach Saban, whenever they figured this out 10 years ago and they're like, okay, we're going to play Florida State in Florida State, to open the season, that wasn't a concern. And, who knows who was quarterback at that time? Hey, you may have been Tua and Jalen at that time. Like, heck yeah, man, let's get Florida State. We can whoop them. And but it was
my Tua Sippy, number 17 right there.
There you go.
No, I agree with you, but I have not researched it. Like I said, this is off our cuffs. So I'll say here, Godfather of the SEC, if you're up in here, let us know about that. As far as how far ahead do teams schedule out? Is it 3 years or 5 years that colleges make their schedule? Well, we do know already Georgia can cancel a hard game off the get-go because they've done it 3 years straight now.
Yeah.
They were scared of the opening game. Well, excuse me, all of our Georgia fans out there, they wasn't scared. They just didn't want to play them games because something might have turned out the way they wanted to. I guess, let me put it that way. But anyway, I'm thinking like Nacho here. I'm thinking we at least need one game off the get-go with a lesser opponent, and then let's see if our play call and all that's going on, and let's go on the next game. The problem I see with that, though, if the guys are not giving 110% like they did against ULM, you still don't know what you got.
Yeah,
the guys got embarrassed with Florida State. Go ahead.
Well, we play like that. I think anybody beats us. That was anyway. We're not getting negative on this.
No, we ain't getting negative.
That's why I look back at that and I'm like, "What Florida game? I don't know what you're talking about." It'll come down at the end of the year. But if we're going to have a loss like that, it's best to have it that first week.
Thank you. Right then and there. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I certainly got the talent to push on through and really, still do what we want to do, man. There's talent on this field.
All right, my next positive I've seen on against ULM was our defensive line. Now, granted, we did not get all the sacks that most Alabama fans want. At least one sack every drive. They really expect that, and if our D line ain't getting sacks every 3 drives, then they suck, and they just want to badmouth our D line. But in this game, with my eyes, I saw a D line doing gap control, doing their job, setting it up for the people behind them, like old school Alabama used to do. The D line set up for the linebackers to make the tackles. They did. Now, granted, I wish we had more weight in a linebacker, but still, our defensive line did one heck of a job. They did gap control. They controlled the game. That was the difference that I saw, and that's a improvement that I saw from week 1. What you say, sir?
I agree, and I don't think that the game plan was to put a bunch of pressure on on this team. I think they went in saying, "Look, let's keep points off the board and let's just shut it down." But who knows? Maybe they come out. Maybe we come out against Wisconsin and just absolutely manhandle them, and we'll see the opposite side of that coin. They may get a couple of scores because our guys are coming in hot, but we might get 3 or 4 sacks and maybe a scoop and score. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see some defensive points scored. I wanted to see some serious pressure on the quarterback and hitting those running backs before they get across the line. And maybe we'll see that in Wisconsin. But hey, man, I don't mind a 0 up there for the opponent at all. I don't care what we missed out on.
Now, with that being said, once again, I love where you're leading me to this. I don't know if you did it intentionally, but you just led me into this thought. I had 2 rocks clicking this head of mud up here. All right. Did they show the targeting hit with Fitzgerald on the big screen there at the stadium? Did they show that?
I think they did. I think they did. Honestly, I remembered hearing it. I may have been, like I said, moving around the stadium. I'm not always out in the
Right.
open. And I think that might have been when I was in between. So I'm not a good, you probably have a much better idea of what happened watching it from the house, and than I would have from the stadium on that one.
Okay, at least you didn't say I was in the middle of taking some beverages and that was being bought for me. At least you didn't say that. But anyway, well, no, I was just curious because to me, it was like an identical shot that was given to our receiver, William, in the first game. It's like an identical type of aggressive play. And I didn't even think that Williams was a targeting. I still say it wasn't, and I'm glad they didn't call it targeting. This one, I don't think it was a targeting. I really don't. It was aggressive play. Was it intentional? But anyway, I didn't know because you was there. That's when I had to ask that they put it up on the big jumbotron for everybody to get all fired up on. I was curious.
If they did, like I said, I think I was in transit at that particular time.
All right. Let's move on to another positive. Well, you might have been in a bathroom too. You don't know. Anyway, so all that water you was drinking. Water steps, y'all. You got to go. We ain't young men no more, right? We may look young, but we ain't. It happens.
Believe me, I felt it on Sunday.
All right. Moving on. Let's talk about the number one guy, the number one person that controls everything. Our quarterbacks. What improvements did you see with your eyes, sir?
Well, with Ty or the other ones?
All of them. Go for it. Break it down.
Well, with Ty, he was hitting his marks. That was the big thing, and that's the kind of stuff that I think would have resolved itself had we had this game first. Because he was, at the Florida game, he's throwing behind guys, he's throwing in front of guys. It's a blue-eyed miracle he didn't get an interception or something like that. And but he was hitting them, and I think it goes back to what you're saying about that offensive line, man. If he's got time to sit back there and make the right call, and and have options, and I think Ty, I think his stuff were calmed down. Playing at home. Supportive crowd, supportive stadium, and second game. Like I said, I think all these things equal to. I think we're going to see a lot more positive results from Ty, and possibly from those other ones if we get a pretty good lead, man. I tell you, Austin Mack and Keelan Russell, man. Especially Keelan, man. I'm excited about that. That was awesome seeing them take, because usually whenever it's this time, you get a blowout like that.
Yeah.
They throw the ball. All they do is just hand the ball off. And they were letting him sling it, and I loved it. I absolutely.
I have to agree with you. Nacho, I don't know if you can see this down here. You got a question for Jeff. Nacho, do you think that the FSU loss was a blessing in disguise? He really thinks it was for our team.
It very may well be. It's always, it very well. Like I said, they were amped up for this game, and I think they'll bring it. But the rubber's going to meet the road at the Georgia game. I can tell you, if we come out, if we come out and play like we did against Florida, anybody's going to beat us. But I think I really do. I agree with you. I think that this lit a fire. And they were like, this is the whole thing. You got these guys coming out, and they want to bash on the board and talk about all this. And I think these guys were like, hey, we don't have to worry about Florida. We're going to go in there and just handle business. And they didn't come out with a fire going. And they just thought we were going to go in there and run through Florida like it wasn't nothing. They were probably already looking down the road at Georgia, honestly. And yeah, man, I think getting our butt handed to us in Florida and them going, are you serious? Or then now they're talking about, 4 losses for this team with the amount of talent on that team. There's no reason to be talking that kind of number. Shoot. And funny after that whooping to Louisiana Monroe. All of a sudden, we're back in. Everybody's talking good about us too. They're a 2-loss team, 3-loss team. It's funny how one blowout win can flip the script for everybody. But
smoke and mirrors, brother. Smoke and mirrors. That's why I'm doing this show. Smoke and mirrors. Stephen Hicks got a question or a statement for you. Consistency, effort, hard hitting, no mercy for 64 minutes.
Exactly, and that's what we saw on Saturday. That's why there's 73 points up there. And I know that people are going to talk, Saban never would have done that and all that. I don't care. That is exactly what we needed. Exactly what needed, and it's exactly what us as a fan base needed. And then that's what we needed.
Well, will that be? That's why I love this. You bring me right into another topic. Right? Yeah, that was awesome. With that being said, was the coaching staff? You can break it down any way you want to. In your opinion, did the way they call the game and act during the game, did that improve from game one?
Yeah. Well, I think yes, absolutely. Judging from who we were playing, though, I think we could put the same game plan. I mean, I don't think they had to adapt, is what I'm saying. They were like, okay, winning game plan. We're just going to keep the pedal to the metal. And what they did not do with Florida is they didn't adjust, and they didn't, and I don't know. It was just the whole. I don't even want to talk about Florida anymore. But yeah. But I don't know how much of an improvement. I don't think we'll know how big of an improvement it was until we go to Athens. And if we can go to Athens and beat their butt in their house, man, what you talking about? They're going to just blow up. I mean, everybody will be like, oh, Alabama's back. We're number, Anyway, that is where the rubber will meet the road. And we'll know if our coaching's good or not.
Nacho. See, you know how much I love you. I respect you more than you'll ever know, brother. You have no idea. One of these days, I'm going to get a good picture of you. I'm going to blow it up, put it over here about my big Alabama A over here. And this is my big Alabama A that was hand-painted for me. Just to let you know. It's here. I'm going to have you right there beside it. But I have to disagree with you, brother.
Do it.
I got to disagree with you a little bit. I apologize, but I have to. That's why I love having you on here. I think our next big game is Wisconsin coming up. One game at a time. We should not be looking forward to Georgia. We need to worry about the next game. We got a loss on our record.
I didn't say.
Go ahead.
I didn't say we don't need to look at Wisconsin.
I'm just saying
that. Well, I mean, absolutely. I think we need to go handle business with this. What I'm saying is, as a fan base and as analyzers that we are,
right?
Us sitting there going, yeah, man, the coaching staff is doing a hell of a job because we just beat the ever living stuffing out of Louisiana Monroe. We don't know. We don't know if that's what this really is. We didn't have to adjust, and that was what the question was. But I get what you're saying. I know, man.
No rat poison. No rat poison. You're right.
Don't look past the next game. As players, those guys need to be looking at how we going to beat the brakes off of Wisconsin.
Thank you.
I think they're going to do it, man. And I think them dudes, man, I was talking to a friend of mine that lives up there in Wisconsin. They were talking about they're practicing in like 40-degree weather, 40, 50-degree weather. They fixed to come down here, man. I'm interested to see how they hold up with the Alabama heat being 95 on a 11 o'clock kickoff. We might actually see guys melt on the field.
That is true. But that's a good point, though. But to me, going back to the coach's improvement, there's a couple of things that I want to talk about and bring forward to the chat room. The number one that I saw, was the energy I saw from Coach Womack on the sideline. He finally got excited, running out on the field, pumping his hands. Thank you. That's the way you play. That's how you do. He finally was showing stuff on the sidelines to his players coming off, patting them on the hat. just patting them on the back. Thank you. That's how we play Alabama football. Thank you. That I'm tickled to death. I finally got to see some energy out of one of our coaches on the sideline. You got anything you want to say about that?
Oh, man, I mean, 100% agree with you. Yeah, you got to have, you can't just sit there with your arms crossed and act like Bill Belichick, not get excited about nothing. You got to get fired up and keep these kids, and they're kids. They're 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds, and you got to keep that fire going, and that's part of your job is to get out there and keep those kids fired up and ready for the next one, man.
All right. You was at the game. Did you actually get to your perspective and see what we did with cameras, seeing Womack go down on the field, pumping everybody up, hitting them on sideline? Was you able to see that at the game?
I couldn't see it from. You got to remember, I'm walking around the track.
I know.
So I mean, there's like 6 guys between me and the coaches. So, I mean, that when I'm on the home side and when I'm on the away side, it's on the other side of the whole field.
Right. I was just curious because sometimes I would like an improvement I would like to see on our next home game, Wisconsin. I would love to see is for our jumbo camera people to pick and choose a little bit more of the positive high points that's going on with either coaching staff, player-to-player moment, a player that got hurt and somebody just hugging them. I'd like to see a little bit more of that. So everybody in the stadium gets to see what we see because they play it over and over and over at home.
Yeah.
So I just saying. But anyway,
I
said, I love this show with you, brother. You bring up all kinds of stuff for me to talk about. Anyway. Now, with that being said, let me talk about a little bit more about our coaching. I was proud to see that our coach came out with our offensive coordinator, came out with a running mindset off the get-go. Now, I know he did it. I'm going to just call it game one. I ain't going to say who. I'm going to say game one. Game one, he did it, and then defense came out, and we know what happened. He got scared. Well, in this game, he stuck with it. He let the running set up his passing. He had great passing attack. He had a great. So I am very impressed that he stuck with it. He didn't let it go. I was very impressed on the play calling. Was you, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I was very glad to see it, and I think that's how we win ball games, man. I really do. I think we got to move the ball down the field, and we got a absolute stable full of running backs that these guys are studs, man. I'm really excited. Even without our best, our number one running back,
right.
Absolutely dominating. And I tell you, that kid, Deere, that guy, I met that guy at Media Day. He is a monster. I got a picture with that dude. I was like, dang, you. I was like, you can see, man, that dude's going to be an absolute big. And I think you saw him that big run, man. He was unstoppable. And I think he could be that way. Who knows? He'll move up in the depth chart. I'm telling you, that kid's special right there. I really was excited.
Well, the one thing good about the running, they're letting everybody run on that one, is I agree with you. The man is a monster. And I think he's faster than what people give him credit to be, which is a good thing. So moving forward, hopefully this weekend, we can come on next week and talk about the improvement of Dyer. We hope so. Out of what you saw, not your stats, just with your eyes, with what you saw, who would you say impressed you the most as a running back?
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
it was by committee.
Yeah, by committee. I tell you, I still think it was Deere, man. I mean, him when he got loose, it was very like I said, I was excited. I was hoping he'd be able to put some hands on the ball, and when he cut loose, man, that was just awesome. Like I said, I'm super excited about him. But it's hard for me. I tell you what, you need to pull some strings at the University of Alabama and get me actually on the field. I will give you some fantastic critiquing when I don't have to look through seven guys to see what's going on. I mean, I look up at the Jumbotron, but I tell you what, yeah, pull some strings and get me on the field, man. And I'm telling you, I will lay it down for you. It will be epic.
Godfather of the SEC. When you rewatch this, let's hook up Notch over here. You're the one. You got the contacts. You got the contacts, Godfather. Let's put it out. If we need to cut a chicken head off or something, let us know. Because we got South Carolina coming up, so we got no problem cutting a chicken head off. Just come on, let's hook our man up. So, Godfather, I'm asking you, sir. I'm asking you, family to family. Please help our family member out here. Help us. Help us. He needs help. We're going to get him inside. When he gets inside, we get all the information, Godfather. Godfather of the SEC, please help out our brother. I'm just asking you. I'm asking you. All right. So that's old school right there. That's old school. Godfather is one of the original horsemen here. So, but he has pull. So let's see what we can do with that. All right, now then. All right, we went through all that. Let's talk about wide receivers. What improvements did you see from game 1 to game 2 with the wide receivers?
I like seeing Bernard making the catches and moving the ball. He has proven that, without Williams there, he is fully capable of being that wide receiver 1. And, I just like seeing him move the ball. And I think it all goes back to, I think you're always going to see good results from your wide receivers when you've got running backs. Like, it's everything what you're talking about. Everything builds on itself. You got a good offensive line.
Right.
Good running game. You got a good running game, then you got good wide receivers. You got wide receivers open where they can catch the ball because they're double stacking the pack. I mean, absolutely, that's what it's all about.
You are so correct. Now, if you would take just a minute to explain to everybody what a double stack is, while I let my dogs in, I'll be right back. Let them know what a double stack is.
I honestly, that just came. There we are. Okay. Yeah. A double stack. You can go to Wendy's and get a double stack. Guys,
I have no clue what just happened. I just got up to go out here and let the dogs in. All right, but double stack. Double stack is when you're running the ball and you're having success. You're getting at least 3 yards a carry. What they do is they bring their defensive backs down closer with the linebackers to help shut down the running attack. So that leaves open many areas on the field, for receivers to catch the ball. That's why in the SEC, the running attack is so important. If you can establish that, everything works. Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
I mean, I just pulled double stack out of the clear blue sky, man.
No, you're right. You're right.
Twice as many dudes in there to try to stop the run. So, yeah. I just pulled that out of the clear blue sky, man. But, hey, it sounds good. It sounds like I knew what the heck I was talking about.
No, you tell the truth, because that's what you do. That is double stack. You pull everybody up, you double stack the backfield. The back part. I played defense for many years. That's what you do. So you was correct in what you said. Seriously, you was.
Oh, it didn't know.
All right, so we got that part of it. The receivers, I was very impressed with. Everybody, all of them. I was very impressed with all of our receivers. They had good hands. They was catching the ball. If they didn't, Ty would have went 17 for 17. So I was very impressed. That was a big improvement from the first game. All right, now let's talk about our tight ends. Let's talk about our tight ends. We got to play, I think, 4 different tight ends on this game. I don't know if you got to actually see it because you was busy on the short passing games at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the lead on this one because you're already shaking your head because you didn't get the opportunity. But what we saw on our end is we got our tight ends, we're running the ball, we're doing all that, but we got that, manageable yardage, whatever it is. And they did not know how to defend it because at that point we could do anything. We had the receivers, we had the running game, we had all this. Our tight ends were actually, I'm going to say, eating the ball. It was thrown to them. It was on. They weren't going to drop it. They were not going to drop the ball. And we're looking at, 6'3" all the way up to 6'6", anywhere from 245 up to 285. We're talking about some big old boys, that catching this ball. They did a great job. There was a major improvement from game 1 to game 2. Game 1, it is what it is. I ain't going to talk about that anymore. But game 2, these young men came out there and they were serious. They took care of business. So I'm very proud of our tight ends. You got anything you want to add to it, sir?
Oh, you did a great job.
All right. Now then, elephant in the room. The one that we was all fed the greens on, I'm going to call it slop. Because I'm from the country. I'm from Sand Mountain, Alabama. We raised cattle. We raised hogs. We raised them all. And the feed that we carried down to our hogs called slop. We poured it over the fence into the trough, and they came running and ate it. All right. So I'm going to talk about the slop that we got fed. All right. Our kicking game, our special teams, they're terrible. That's what was fed. They're terrible. We need to worry about it. I saw a different type of special team this game. And I don't care who you're playing. They don't change a man's foot to the ball. They don't change the snapper putting the ball down. That don't change the blocking scheme up front. I don't care who you're playing. Them elements are the same. You got to block, you got to catch, you have to set, you have to kick it through. I saw a major improvement from what we were saying in the off season to game 1 and game 2. I didn't see a problem in game 1, but we ain't going there. I'm just saying I have not seen a problem with our special teams. What do you say, sir?
I agree. I mean, yeah, you're right. They were trying to, I think they were trying to find anything to focus in on to be negative. And they were like, okay, because everybody thought, oh, defense is going to be awesome. Offense is going to be awesome. Everything's going to be great. So they got to focus in on something. And they locked in on special teams. And I agree, man. I hadn't seen anything. I mean, you only notice special teams when they ain't doing a good job. And I hadn't seen them not do a good job. I think they've been handling their business, man.
I agree. Now, I will say this. My only complaint that I have with special team, and I hate to be negative, but it is a complaint that I have that I want to see an improvement this coming weekend against Wisconsin is we're just kicking the short game. I don't know what they saw in film that led them to believe that they're fumble happy on kickoffs, but it looked like they wasn't kicking it through the end zone like we did with game 1. That's my only regret is they was doing the short game. I really don't know why, but they were. I would like to see an improvement this weekend against Wisconsin on let's kick it through the end zone. Let's give them opportunity to run it back. That's just me. Did you see that, sir?
A little bit. I think when you're doing that, you're always rolling the dice that, hey, maybe you'll be able to catch them at the 20 rather than 25. you're gaining maybe a yard. And when you're playing a team like Louisiana Monroe, I think that they wanted to get up fast. They wanted to get up big. And, every yard's going to, hey, I got a problem on my end on this. I'm at 1% on my man, and I'm freaking to drop off. I'm afraid.
All right, bro. Anyway, well, before you drop off, let me tell you right now, I appreciate you. Please, if you can, send me your information so I can run it across the bottom of the screen anytime. Would you be willing to come on next week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Same time, same place.
I'll make sure my stuff's fully charged next week.
Bro, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Nacho. Come on back, man. We love you. Thank you.
Roll Tide, roll!
Roll Tide, brother. Love you, man. But I love Nacho. He's awesome, man. He gets to get all up in there. I'm poor man. I'm not able to get where he goes and get to visit everybody. It's awesome, but I would love to get all his Facebook information and all that for y'all to follow, because he is what he gets to do. I'm envious. I'm envious. It's friggin' awesome. But anyway, what do y'all think? I mean, seriously, if y'all, I'm gonna ask y'all in chat right now, what would be your number one thing that you took away from the ULM game that you would say was our biggest improvement of all? What was yours? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait a little bit, and then I'll come back and I'm going to put it up and give y'all my opinion. That's just the way I am, y'all. Kind of stubborn that way. I'll be right back. Y'all go ahead and put it all up there. All right, I'm back. Sorry, y'all, I had to do a 10-100 for all the truckers. Y'all know what that was, but the ones that don't know what 10-100 means, it means I had to go to the bathroom, just so y'all know. But anyway, I'm looking over here. I'm looking at the comments on the biggest thing was the effort. MFR Jones, effort. I would have to agree with you with that, brother. I have to agree with you totally. The effort that was displayed. I'm going to put it up here on the front here. The effort, 60 minutes. They did play with effort. Now, I want to see that the same against Wisconsin. I ain't going to go negative. I'm going to be positive on this. I said I was. But if they'll continue doing that, a win or loss coming this weekend, as long as they give the energy and effort playing 64 minutes, both sides of the ball, I will come on here and brag about it. You're right, MFR Jones. I agree with you. I got to ask this also. Has anybody seen 6-0? I've been trying to get a hold of him. Can't get a hold of him. I'm worried about the man. I'm just, he's a family member. So if anybody can get a hold of him, please get a hold of 6-0. I know I got a cup to mail out to him. I'm more worried about him because I normally see him on all kinds of shows, and I haven't been seeing him. So we need to check on 6-0. I don't have his home address to do check on him or nothing. But if anybody can get a hold of 6-0, please do. Let him know. Come in, just check in. Tell us a kiss, whatever. but we love to have, we miss you and we're worried about you. Anyway, let's see. MFR Jones says he hadn't seen him either. So if anybody has any connections, let's check on our brother 6-0, please. Somebody check on 6-0. But now, I've only got a few minutes left here. Let's turn the page just a little bit. Let me go ahead and get this wire out here. Let's turn this page a little bit. I ain't gonna be negative. Let's talk about the Wisconsin game. What kind of improvements do we want to see against Wisconsin? I'll tell y'all my number one. I want to see our offensive line do the exact same thing to Wisconsin's defensive line that they did against ULM. I want to see them running plays, drive off the ball, push them open holes. Open holes. I want to see them. Now they're playing 5-year seniors. They're playing 4-year juniors. They're playing a better quality of defensive linemen coming at them. That's why if they would just maintain what they're doing, it would be great. I'm seeing over here Stephen Hicks and LaToya and George going sack. I agree with you. That would be awesome. I do want them to go out. But y'all keep in mind, don't be disappointed if they don't. Be more excited about them keeping their lanes because they're going against a better offensive line. Remember game one, the whole offensive line they were playing against were all 5-year seniors. 5-year seniors. That's like getting a ball of Jack Daniels freshly made that's clear, or one 30 years later it's been in a barrel that soaked in all the juice. Now it's got the tan tint. Florida State got a lot of the tent. They bought it. I'll be right back, y'all. I got my dogs are scratching at the door. Be right back. But seriously, I mean, I agree with y'all. Sacks would be awesome. But if you're going to have sacks, that means our defensive coach is going to have to call up different type of blitzes. And I do wish he would do that. I'll admit that. I will. I'll be right back, y'all. Be right back. I got my babies in. All right. It's just, I don't want everybody to, because we had this great game against ULM. We saw great improvements. That's the biggest thing this show's about. Smoke and mirrors. Let's don't talk about what everybody is saying. Let's don't talk about what they think. Let's talk about what we see. We're going against a better talented team this weekend. So let's talk about what we really, really need to see improvements with. Sacks, yes, I agree with y'all. Sacks would be great. I want to see the same type of play calling and execution by our team on offense that we saw the ULM. I really would. I want to see running, and our offensive line blowing off and blocking. I want to see that. That way we don't have to sit here and discuss how they miss a hand move, they miss some technique. We don't have to do all this. We want to pass when we want to, not when we have to. Run the ball. Let the running the ball set up everything else. So that's another improvement I want to keep going from our coaching staff. Run the ball. Make them worry about it. If it don't even work the first quarter, keep it up. Because by halftime, that defense is wore out. They're wore out because they're having to push against our big boys. I want to see it coming. But anyway, moving the chains, eating the clock. Stephen Hicks, you are so correct, sir. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Don't give up. Well, if it takes 7 minutes for us to we took off the clock to score touchdown. Hey, that's 7 minutes they ain't got. It's over with. Do not panic. Trust your team. Trust your O-line, because I believe in our O-line on running attack. I believe in them. I've got a lot of questions on when you consistently make them pass block. We have great lines. We have great depth on it. But they're not the best in the world at pass blocking. They can get beat by smaller people, bigger people, faster. They can get beat. So keep running the ball. Run the ball. Keep doing it. Let that set up your surprise attack. I also would like to see an improvement with Wisconsin, some crossing routes. I would love to see some crossing routes against them. They have a good defensive backfield. I would love to see some crossing routes that goes for a lot of positive yards, because we're going to need that going into an SEC schedule. Let me see what we got here. William Bright goes. Score every time we get the ball. Well, we did that with ULM. So, yes, that'd be great to keep that going. Stephen Hicks comes back with, it keeps their offense on the bench. Exactly. And it wears down their defensive line. It wears them down. I'm sorry. Boom, 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 boom. You don't do it too many times, you're going to bust your skin. Knuckles going to start bleeding. It's going to wear that. You're going to be hitting as hard. It's just common sense. So I agree with y'all. That's why I love my chat. That's why I love this chat. Y'all are so real it ain't even funny. I love it. All right. Well, we're getting here close to the end here. I love y'all to death. And just real quick, I want to thank Nacho for coming on. I've gave him a straight up invite every week if he wants it. He's a busy man. Y'all know it's coming. But real quick, I want to throw this up here. Real quick. We do have a Alabama volleyball game going on right now. It might have just ended, but it's going on right now. And this volleyball girl has been kicking buttocks at the beginning of their season. They're doing awesome. Thank y'all. I want to put that out. But also, got to put this up here. BAMA Salute. Bam. Thursday, tomorrow, September the 11th, 7 p.m. versus South Carolina. This is the soccer team. This is our soccer girls coming on. And Lord, girls, you go there, choke them. Cut them heads off them chickens. Cut it off. I just had to break that up real quick, everybody. But thank everybody being up in here. I appreciate every single one of y'all. It's just, I need to give some positive in there. I know on Mondays I do negative. I'll let my emotions take over. And I do. But, Bama Smoke's back. Let's clear smoke and mirrors. Thank every single one of y'all. I love y'all. And we're going to get up out of here with a Mighty Bear Bryant. See y'all next week. Thank you. Love you.
You've got to be better in all three areas of life, which of course are spiritual, mental, and physical. You must be able to discipline yourself. If you don't learn but one thing out of football, it'll be worthwhile. There's certain sacrifices that you will have to make. There are going to be many sacrifices you have to make in later life. To fight. Oh, I don't mean fist fight. I mean to get up and come back and get up and come back and get up and come back again after you've been knocked down. And that could happen to you in later life. But if it does, you're going to know how to